Welcome back, guys. We are in Leading with Emotional Courage by Peter Bregman. Once again, I'm covering for Scott, and we are in the element of connecting with others. Connecting with others is one of the biggest ways that we can help our own recovery. Why? Because we are getting out of ourselves. We are looking at others, seeing ways to help others, and that in turn gives us, it fills our heart up. And of course, it helps us connect with what God wants for us, which is to love others. So we're in chapter 16. I want to go into it because the first one is really interesting. It's a real key that I found helped me, especially helped me move forward efficiently and effectively when it comes to a hurt, habit, or hang up. It says, stay creative. What does this mean? Are you trying to solve the wrong problem? So we look at things from often what's the biggest problem here? Okay. And we try and solve that one. However, a more creative solution is to say, what if this problem was just built up on a series of problems that I was dealing with? And it's like a house of cards. If I solve a different problem, I wonder if I can make that whole house of cards come tumbling down. And it can work. So staying creative means that if you are looking at a problem and you are not able to solve it, look for a different problem to solve. Okay, find a better problem. It could be maybe slightly easier to solve. It could be something that you can solve, and you see what the consequences of solving a smaller problem will have on the bigger one. In other words, you need to stay curious about the solutions so that you can see what kind of impact it has on the bigger problems. I'll give you an example. Okay, so I'm talking with someone, and he does have an alcohol problem, and he drives the same way home from work every day. The problem with that is on that route home, there is the location where he commonly goes to have his drinks. The problem isn't stopping himself from having too many drinks. The problem isn't just does he turn in or not to the parking lot. Solving a different problem could be one. I'm going to drive a different way home so I don't even see that building. Just literally change the route home. Maybe it's longer, but let's face it, taking an extra 5 minutes out of your way on the way home is still quicker than if you turn in, grab some drinks, and you're 2 hours late from home. Or leave at a different time, which might make you actually take a different route home. So I'm just giving examples to solve a different kind of problem. When to leave work, which way I should go. Maybe I should find a drive home that is actually more beautiful, more peaceful. Okay, so that's just about staying creative. He says here, there's an additional advantage to redefining your problem. It frees you to experiment with a, quote, beginner's mind. You get to start over trying different solutions, assessing their effectiveness, learning from failures, and trying again. You're seeing the same problem over and over and over again. Why? Because it's the biggest thing that you're probably dealing with. However, change the whole game. Try and look for a different problem to solve, one that you don't feel like you're actually struggling with, but it's something that leads to the problem at hand. It could be a trigger, finding a different way to deal with the triggers, finding a different cue, meaning instead of letting a certain cue take you down a wrong mental path of thinking, you have it ready. You have a different cue that changes your thought pattern, that changes your emotional journey that you're on. All right, chapter 17, be useful. We all want to be useful. This talks about the fact that he's on a plane and they're circling because of a delay and the baby's crying and people are feeling uncomfortable and they're just feeling like, I just have to sit here and take it. Then someone nearby says, hey, why don't you actually let me hold the baby so you can take a break, and we'll see if, if I can help calm the baby down. Being useful means I'm not going to sit in my chair and let circumstances dictate to me what I should or should not do. It's taking the initiative. Being useful says, you know what, maybe I can go back and say, while we're waiting in the air like this, everyone's just sitting. And I thought, people who are happier are sometimes have a need met, an unlooked for need. How about we pass out water? I can even help you. Some cool water to people while we're just sitting. That way they can take, a drink and they feel slightly better than they did. So being useful is looking for unlooked for ways of being useful, of showing people that you care. That's being useful. Not always just meeting the quota, not always just doing what everyone else is doing, because it all does come down to a choice. In the end, we don't have the power over the circumstances, but we do have the power to influence the world around us with our attitude, with our actions, with the way we speak. And in turn, we can turn the circumstances around. I was going to say in our favor, but at least favorably for people who are in the same situation as us. All right, chapter 18, making people feel good. So he is talking about a situation where he goes into a sale. Let's go into how does this apply to the care ministry, making people feel good. So when you notice a coworker or a neighbor and they are struggling, what do you do next? Do you just get a little bit awkward and not sure what you're supposed to do, and you just say, I'm sorry, I gotta go, or you just back out, or you just totally escape? Or maybe you just do the minimum, which is, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. Okay. But you can tell by their face that they're probably stressed, they're tense, they're worried. Maybe something is happening around you that is so obvious that you could share a comforting word or encouragement by your presence. But Peter Bregman he goes in to try and make a deal with this business executive as a coaching opportunity, because Peter Bregman is a coach. And they say, oh, it's limited time. And so he thinks, okay, well, let me just get out my thoughts because we're on limited time. And so he does, and he loses big time the deal. He says the reason why is because the person, his first impression was, oh, this person just wants to tell me what I should do. Basically, this person just wants to boss me around, and nobody really wants another boss in their life. What they really want is to be in tune with someone. If I'm going through if I'm going through a hard time, what I really want to know deep down is that I'm not alone. That's the first one. The next one is that I'm seen and that I'm heard. And the next one is, are we going to walk together, or is this person just going to try and push me around or pull me around? Because I don't need that either. When someone is not going through a good experience emotionally or mentally, they don't want to feel yet another situation, in this case a person, coming in and pulling their arm in the direction they think, in the direction that person thinks they should go. No, they want to feel safe. So I'm going to read off a few things. First rule of attunement is to reduce your power. I've had to learn this one big time. I'm a big guy. What does this mean? Usually I stand actually further back, and sometimes I'll usually sit down Sometimes they'll just lean on something as well to show that I'm not coming in this powerful way to dominate the territory. Reduce your power. The next is there needs to be curiosity. We also showed that as well. The next is cut back on your words. If you're trying to tune in, try and use words more effectively by using less but more powerful words. I do, that might sound as a contradiction when it comes to reducing your power, but I just mean say words that have more meaning rather than empty filler words. Okay. What he's saying, what this person is really looking for is partnership. What they want to hear is that their story is important to you, that what they're really going through is important. It's that old adage, show the person how much you care before you do anything else. Let go of your agenda. Your agenda can be, I just need to tell them how it is. I just need to tell them the truth. I just need to tell them how to fix it. I just need to tell them because I've got something else I need to do. Letting go of your agenda says, this person's more important. This person needs to know that I care. This person needs to know that I'm standing with them and not apart from them, throwing my instructions toward them and hoping that they catch it and that they'll follow it. The entire goal should be to connect, make people feel good, is typically doing things that the other doesn't even realize, which is maybe a hand on the shoulder, maybe just a quiet presence. And it goes a long, long way to helping someone with a hurt, habit, or hang up. And that is the first part of how to truly connect with others. And I'll see you in the next video with my buddy Scott.